All right, what's going on, y'all? This is BoxingWave here with D-Style Boxing. This is our second week doing Sunday Boxing Report. We're gonna try to do this every week. We're gonna talk about last night's fights. Chavez Jr. Lost to Fonfora, Terence Crawford against Delorme, and Matthysse and Provodnikov. So, D-Style, you can start it off. Which fight you want to talk about first?
Well, first thought, Delorme and Crawford. I mean, what a performance by Crawford, man. I mean, first of all, Delorme was giving him some trouble early on, and but Crawford he has something that every special fighter has, and he has the ability to adapt. He'll adapt and he'll figure you out, and then he'll take you out. And the one thing about Crawford that I really like, he's a hell of a finisher. He knows how to finish a guy. He gets you hurt, he gets you out of there. I love that about the guy. Here he was against a fighter that he was just like in the Gamboa fight. Maybe not as much, right? But he was getting outboxed early, in my opinion. It was competitive, but I think he was getting outboxed a little bit. And then Crawford figured him out and took him out of there. I'm impressed with Crawford. What about you?
Well, first off, I went to the fight, the Matthysse Provodnikov fight. It wasn't at the same location. They both were on HBO, but it wasn't at the same location. So what they did was they had a big screen there, and they showed the entire fight before Matthysse and Provodnikov came out. So there were some points that I didn't see it, but for the most part, I saw the fight. And you know what? Just like you said, Crawford is able to adapt. I thought he was getting outboxed a little bit. He wasn't in big trouble. I think Gamboa was outboxing him a little bit more clearly. But Delorme is a good boxer. I mean, he is a good fighter. And I wasn't surprised by anything that happened, even earlier. Crawford is a guy that basically he's special. I think he's special, just like you said. And he's able to adapt. And I knew at some point there's one thing about Delorme that I noticed, that he's kind of chinny. And he can't recover. If you hurt him, he really can't recover. And I knew at some point Crawford was probably going to land a big shot and take him out, Did you see the weigh-in?
I did not see the weigh-ins, no.
Okay. The weigh-in was pretty intense for that fight. Yeah, it was pretty intense. Delorme and Crawford was doing a lot of talking, a little pushing. And Crawford was saying to him, "I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to knock." He kept saying it over and over again. And he knocked him out. It was
Crawford's usually a pretty quiet guy,
Delorme was doing more of the talking. So I think that kind of changed Crawford, that kind of made him. I was like, Delorme, I don't know, you shouldn't be talking. This is Terence Crawford coming up. I thought that was kind of bad for him to get on his nerves a little bit, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. He knocked him out.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised he went at him like that way. Maybe he was trying to get to his head. Sometimes that works, sometimes it backfires.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a good fight. And let's see what's next. I mean, I think he won the WBO title last night, right? It was a vacant title.
Right.
Rules and used to have an Algeria won from him. So let's see what's next. I mean, there's plenty of fighters at 140. You still got Lamont Peterson. You got Danny, who's probably not going to fight him.
Probably not. Probably not.
Matthysse, what do you think about that fight?
I mean, that's a hell of a fight. I'll favor. I'm going on the record right now. I favor Crawford over any fighter at 140 right now. Yeah. Over any fighter.
Me too.
No knock on any of the 140-pound division. Right. But I'll pick him over any fighter right now.
Yeah. A lot of people forget that Crawford fought Prescott at 140, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That fight was at 140, and at the time, Prescott was a big puncher, and he was actually a very dangerous fighter. That was a last minute. I think that fight was scheduled maybe a couple of weeks before the fight, and Crawford went up there and shut him out. And that was Prescott's a big puncher. So
I remember people saying, you know, Prescott's finished. This is proof. I don't know if he was finished or if he just ran into the wrong dude, just like Delorme.
yeah,
I'm not even ready to count out Delorme right now, you know? I
no,
just think they ran into arguably one. This is the future pound for pound king right here, Crawford. You know,
I think so. Yeah, I know Hank Lundy been calling out the Crawford. I don't know if Crawford would even entertain that fight right now, but you know, I know a lot of people want to see the Adrian Broner fight too. A lot of people want to see that fight. Um, I don't know what's next, but so let's move on. Let's talk about Matthysse and Provodnikov. That was the next fight.
oh, you know, even though I picked Matthysse to win, I don't feel like I got the prediction right because I didn't think he was going to win the decision. I didn't even think this fight was going to go the distance. You know, when I think it was like round 2 or 3 where Matthysse landed almost every punch in his arsenal on Provodnikov and hurt the guy, and he didn't hurt him, but I mean, I'm sure those punches hurt, you know. And Provodnikov did not stop coming. Like he just kept coming and coming and coming and coming, and he got hit with everything and the kitchen sink, you know, and the lamps and the knives, and he threw them all back at Matthysse. He did not stop, man, and Matthysse did not work the body like I thought he would. And there you go. I mean, is it me or does Provodnikov have a skull on his skull? You know, like I think he has like a double skull or something. I think I could hit Provodnikov with a baseball bat and he would still be standing.
Yeah. I think we learned a lot about these two. At least I did. All right. First of all, I've never gotten a Ruslan Provodnikov prediction right. I'm like 0 for 3 for him. I'm done doing prediction videos on him. I just can't figure him out. You know, when I think he's gonna win, he loses. When I think he's gonna lose, he wins. I don't know.
Right.
But one thing I learned about Ruslan is that when it comes to fighting elite fighters or just close to elite fighters, you really just don't know what's gonna happen. You know, you just don't know. You know, and I think as it goes longer and guys seeing like, because Matthysse, in my opinion, I think Matthysse beat him better than anybody's beaten him. You know, by far, it was a clear cut win to me, even though it went 12 rounds and it was getting close. If it was a 15 round fight, it would have been different because I mean, Provodnikov was coming back the last couple of rounds, but I'm gonna tell you live. Out of all the fights that I've been to recently, the crowd was very, very. This is the best crowd that I've been to for a fight in a long time. It was a very even crowd. Every time, Matthysse was pretty much dominating the first half to me. Right. So Provodnikov, every time he landed something, the crowd went crazy because, you know, it was just like Matthysse was, you know, on the offensively, he was the better fighter. And then, so I don't know if people were seeing the same thing I was seeing, but from what I saw, it looked like Provodnikov was losing pretty clearly. And it looks like Matthysse hits a lot harder to me. I don't know if you agree with that, but Matthysse, I don't know. It seemed like every time he hit Provodnikov, I don't know if it was sweat. I don't know if I heard the noise. It just seemed like it was a lot more effective. And for Provodnikov to still walk through all of that and get hit was crazy to me.
No, no doubt. I mean, not up until like maybe the eighth or ninth round, I think, is where like I think Provodnikov really started to get to Matthysse, and Matthysse admitted after the fight that he hurt his right hand, right?
I think, I don't know, maybe if he did, I didn't hear the post-fight interview because at that point everybody was leaving. I might have been walking out or I might have been taking pictures. I was taking pictures at that point. So I didn't hear the interview live while I was there. Did he say that? Yo. D-Style, you there? Okay, I think I might have lost him. Yo, you there? All right. Until he comes back, I'm gonna just talk about the fight until we figure out what's going on.
All right, I'm here now. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Don't know what happened.
I was asking you at the point he did the interview, I might have been walking out. I didn't hear his post-fight interview. So I think it was a lot.
Yeah.
Everybody was leaving the arena. You know, it was a lot going on. So.
Okay. Yeah, he admitted that, Matthysse admitted that he hurt his right hand in that fight.
Okay.
Yeah. He had admitted that he hurt his right hand. On TV, you could hear the shots from Matthysse, though. You know, like you could hear like the boom, 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 boom when he would land on him.
Yeah.
But after like the 8th, 9th round, you couldn't hear the thud anymore. I don't know if you noticed that when you watched it live or not.
It was towards the end of the fight when I noticed that he just wasn't as effective. So I didn't know what it was. I just thought that Provodnikov started maybe to get to him a little bit. I mean, I noticed that Provodnikov was definitely landing more shots towards like the 4th quarter of the fight. But I mean, it was a great fight. Matthysse is legit, man. There's a lot of people don't feel that way about him. He lost to Danny. I would love to see the rematch. I thought he beat Alexander. I thought he beat Zab Judah. All right, he didn't get the decision for those fights, but Matthysse is legit, man. And as far as him getting knocked down twice, you know, getting knocked down by John Molina and getting knocked down by Danny, I mean, he took some big shots from Ruslan, and he stood in there. He didn't get knocked down at all.
Yeah, I think he was hurt. I think the round 11th he was hurt.
Yeah, definitely. He was hurt in round 11. He was definitely hurt, but still, he didn't. There was it was a great fight, and there was no knockdowns at all.
No knockdowns, and I'm shocked. I thought somebody was going to get knocked out. I thought that if Matthysse couldn't knock this guy out after a few rounds, he was going to get to him. And Matthysse moved better than I think most of us thought he would be able to move in the ring. You know?
Yeah. Matthysse had to beat a boxer this time around, and he showed that he can box pretty well. So I'm very impressed with him. I would like to see him in there with anybody. You know, I don't think, like you said, I don't think he can beat Crawford. But I think anybody else in the division, you know, he can give a good fight with. So
definitely.
So let's talk about your boy Chavez, your favorite boxer.
I love Chavez. You know, well, first of all, at the weigh-in, I honestly thought, you know, you never know. It might be better for him because he looked healthier at the weigh-in than he did in previous fights, and because it's his weight class, really, if you think about it, right? He might be better suited for 168, to be honest, but you know he wanted to be lazy and he didn't want to work to make 168 pounds, and he paid for it in this fight.
Yeah,
you know, he leaves Top Rank. There's no way Top Rank puts him in the ring with Fonfara. There's just no way. They would have put him in there with a lesser opponent, so he could feel out the division. They put him in there against a top. I mean, you could argue Fonfara is a top 5 light heavyweight in the world,
right? And
they just threw him in there with him, you know. And it was clear to me that not only was Fonfara slightly bigger than Chavez, like taller, he was just a better fighter and beat Chavez in every department. I mean, on the inside, on the outside. Hurt him. What I like about Fonfara is just a lot of balance, you know, on his right and left hand. He doesn't just rely on one punch. I like that about him, and Chavez had a hard time with him, man. He looks faster than Chavez. I mean, I just don't see what Chavez had, like, no advantage over the guy. I don't know if you noticed that yourself, but
yeah,
I noticed no advantages Chavez had over him. Usually Chavez, when he's, you know, he has to, he'll rely on his brute strength. If you notice, he was leaning in. He was trying to bully the guy around like he was used to doing at 160 pounds. It wasn't working here. Fonfara was shoving him back. You know, he was standing his ground, shoving him back. And I didn't like Chavez's demeanor. Chavez kept looking at the ref. I don't know about what. Like, he would look at the ref to complain.
Yeah.
It was getting kind of irritating, you know.
Right.
Took a beating, went down, and he quit. He quit.
You know, I agree with everything you said. You know, the whole thing with putting Chavez in the ring with Fonfara, you know, I really didn't give this much thought, this fight. You know, I didn't do like a prediction video. I think I might have talked about it. But I didn't really give it much thought. Chavez, you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chavez, all this time, you know, you kind of figured all these guys wanted to get in the ring with this guy to make a name from beating him. Sergio Martinez finally got to fight with him, and he left a question mark only because of the 12th round. So his brand really wasn't diminished because of that 112 round for some reason, even though Martinez clearly outboxed him for 12 rounds. Everybody
for 11 and a half rounds.
Yeah.
He outboxed him.
Yeah, for 11 and a half rounds. And people still want to fight this guy. Everyone at 160, Golovkin wanted to fight him, Ward, Froch, Adonis Stevenson. You know, all of these guys want the fight with Chavez. And
I didn't blame him. Money-wise, I didn't blame him. You know?
Yeah. But you know what? Not for nothing. I'm kind of glad it was Fonfara. You know, when I first heard, I didn't watch the fight live because I was still out. I didn't watch the fight until today. I'm kind of glad that it was Fonfara because I was kind of tired of everybody trying to get the fight with Chavez instead of fighting the other top guy in the division that you know, I mean, besides Triple G, obviously, because Triple G was willing to fight, is willing to fight anyone. But from everyone from 168 to 175, it seemed like they all wanted a Chavez fight for no reason, you know, besides the fact of the money and the popularity. Chavez really haven't done anything. So now what happens? You know, I don't know. You know, I'm not saying that people are not going to want to fight with him, but the value of it is definitely gone down, you know. I don't know what they were thinking. You know, I think I'm glad Chavez finally fought at the weight that he should be fighting. Just like you said, I mean, he's truly a 175 fighter. But at the same time, this is the first time he fought a guy that's bigger than him and a much better boxer than him. You know?
Yeah.
The fight was so bad that he made Chavez look like he should have never been in the ring with him to begin with. Like, they were in the two different classes. Even on the inside, Chavez had absolutely no advantages. So, I don't know, you know, and then the complaining, I didn't like it. I thought that he was just walking in, leaning his head down, and he wasn't expecting Fonfara to be so physical with him. And that's why he was complaining. He's not used to that. He's used to being a bigger fighter. And then the post-fight interview was terrible about him, you know, thinking he was winning and, you know, wanting a rematch at a lower weight.
About the complaining, that's your typical bully. That's your schoolyard bully, right? A guy who's used to pushing somebody and nobody does anything about it, but when they get pushed back, it's a different story, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what it was. And I think he was frustrated. He was frustrated that, you know, I think in the middle of that fight, he was like, I don't know. I think Chavez was thinking to himself, I don't know what I just got myself into right now. This was a mistake. That had to be running through his head. Like, I need a way out of this fight. That's the feeling I got. Like, he wanted a way out of the fight.
Yeah.
And he found one, you know.
Did you see the end of the post-fight video? I don't know if you noticed it, but I'm just watching it. So, did you see where they're trying to tell him to say thank Al Heyman?
Oh, no, I didn't notice that part, no.
All right. If you get a chance, go back and watch that, man. The guys in his corner behind him are whispering his thank Al Heyman, thank Al Heyman. They're grabbing him, not Chavez, Fonfora. They're grabbing Fonfora, and they're like, tell the cameras, thank Al Heyman. And he forgets to do it. It is so funny because you hear them, you clearly hear them, you know. But I thought that part was pretty hilarious. It's like they're supposed to say it.
That is insane. I have no idea why. I thought Al Heyman was like a down low guy, like, you know. I
mean, as far as not knowing what he looks like, yeah, but he doesn't come to the event. So at least if he does, he's not sitting in the crowd. But he wants his name and his brand out there. So at the same
Makes
time,
sense.
you know, a lot of people think Watson is Al Heyman.
No. He's almost like his vice president or something. I don't know. But he represents him for sure. But the post fight was, did you see Jim Gray's face?
Yeah.
Jim Gray's expression while Chavez was talking. Man, I didn't even like Jim Gray, but it was like appropriate in that interview.
Yeah, it was.
You know, he was getting him a look like, you thought you were winning. Like, you know, I don't know why he thought he was winning, man. I have no idea. You know what's the worst part about this? That his dad saw film of Fonfara and told Chavez Jr., "Don't take this fight, son.
Yeah,
this should not be your first fight at 175." And he told him, "Nah, I got this, Dad." You know, if your dad is a boxing legend and he tells you, "I saw tape, don't fight this guy right now," maybe you should listen, right?
I didn't know who was gonna win the fight. Honestly, I was going for Chavez. I do like Chavez, so biasly, I was going for Chavez. You know, I thought him being durable and probably try to bully Fonfora. I really didn't think Fonfora was gonna be big like that. I mean, I know he's taller, but he looked physically bigger than Chavez. Chavez looked like a little boy in there. He looked like a little kid. He didn't belong in there. And you know, Fonfara is no joke, man. This guy is.
But Fonfara is tall in general. I remember he was towering a little bit over Stevenson, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want everybody to think, well, come on, look how much bigger this guy was. He was taller, right? But they weigh the same on fight night. Like I would almost bet it that they weigh the same. You know, Fonfara is just a tall guy in general. There's some heavyweights that height, you know. But I mean, it's just ironic to me that he's complaining that he lost. The only reason he lost because he's just so much bigger than me. When that's the only reason he really ever won a world title. You know.
Right. Yeah. All right. So, anything else you want to talk about? Who do you want to see Fonfara fight? What do you think about Beterbiev? I want to see Beterbiev.
Oh man.
And
you think he deserves a rematch with Stevenson? That's the fight he wants.
Yeah, I mean, we all want to see. Listen, we all want to see the Kovalev fight, but I think he deserves a rematch. The fight was good. That was a close fight. Yeah, why not? I mean, he's been winning. Unless he's gonna fight like a Kovalev or a Pascal or something, you know, why not fight Stevenson? You know, Fonfara could get those fights. You know, I know. I wouldn't. I'm just telling you now. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Fonfara in there with Beterbiev pretty soon, because I think Beterbiev might be with Al Heyman now too, or on that way to be with Al Heyman.
No way. Al Heyman's kidding everybody. Beterbiev or Stevenson on NBC, man. Let's do it. You know.
Yeah.
I think Fonfara deserves a nice little network TV time, you know, for this, and he does. I think he deserves a rematch, or Kovalev, you know, or Beterbiev, either one. But he's up there. He's a top 5 guy, man. The light heavyweight division is no joke right now. It really is. It feels like the UFC division's kind of, you know, like there's a lot of guys in the mix. So,
right, I agree.
But Fonfara's up there, man. I just don't want everybody to think he's like better than what he is. I mean, it was Chavez Jr. that he beat, but you know, he's definitely top 5.
He's definitely top 5. Take Chavez completely out of the equation, because Chavez haven't done anything at 175. Period. But if you take him completely out of the equation, he's still one of the best fighters up there.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything else you want to bring up? Get out of here.
Well, man, I know there's a big heavyweight title fight, Matthysse Square Garden, right?
Yeah.
And that's next week, man. Let's go. He's putting the title on the line. What do you think?
Trying to decide if I'm gonna go, because it's like this might be the only time I get to see Klitschko live, and
probably.
If he loses, I want to be there. If he does actually lose. I don't think he's gonna lose, but I don't like completely. I don't know, like Jennings. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel funny. Maybe it's because I'm being biased, but I feel funny by completely counting him out of this fight.
I mean, on paper, Klitschko should dominate this fight and win, right? That's the way it's looking to me. Then that's what I think is going to happen. I think Klitschko's going to be too much for him. I just think he's a better fighter. He's a bigger fighter. He's a stronger fighter. I mean, it's all wrong for Jennings, but no matter how big of a Vladimir Klitschko fan you are, everybody has a shot against Klitschko. You know what I mean? You know, everybody has a shot. Like, everybody should know that. You can't fix a bad chin, you know? And he's been good at, you know, with the help of Emmanuel Stewart, you know, he worked on his defense a lot and his style to mask that, but that weakness is still there. It's just, can Jennings strike and can Jennings hurt him and take him out of there is the question. I don't think he can, but he definitely deserves a shot, though, so we'll see.
Right. Yeah, it to me, I still think Wilder and Fury are the most dangerous fighters for Klitschko at this point, by far. I think it's going to be one of those two. If anybody's going to beat him, I think it's going to be one of those two.
Yeah, because it could match him in size, and Wilder's actually a little taller than Klitschko. So, and I think Fury is too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Fury's the tallest out of all of them. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Fury's
Wilder's a big dude.
Yeah. Fury's 6'9". I think Klitschko's either 6'6" or 6'7".
Right.
Wilder's like an inch taller than Klitschko, and then Fury's like an inch or an inch and a half taller than Wilder.
Wow. So there you go. These are some big dudes right there, man. Those are some big dudes. So, yeah, I can't wait, man. You might actually see Klitschko again, because I believe if Klitschko wins this fight, there's a good chance, there's a real good chance that they're going to try and do Wilder against Klitschko on one of these PPC things on, like, maybe the Barclays Center or something. So
I hope so, man. I hope so.
That'll be huge, by the way.
Yeah, these tickets are not cheap. These tickets are not cheap. I'm actually waiting for my dad to let me know. He said he's going to try to get some tickets. So if he gets some, then I'll go with him. But that's it. I don't know, because it's like I'm going to Vegas for the Mayweather-Pacquiao week a couple days later. So I'm like trying to decide. I said, it's like so much boxing. I just came from seeing this fight. You know, it's a lot of money towards boxing. So I don't know.
A lot of boxing in New York State, man, these last few weeks. But.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been pretty good. And then the week before was in we had Garcia last week.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't even go.
I think since Barclays came around, like, they've been doing more fights there. So
yeah, Barclays is good. And Barclays, the tickets are a lot cheaper, far cheaper than Madison Square Garden. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, good tickets. Klitschko tickets are not great. If you want good seats, you have to pay a lot for that fight.
Have you ever seen a fight? Before we end this, have you ever seen a fight in Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, I have.
Is there a mystique to it or something? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I've heard.
Besides the arena being much bigger, it's not much of a difference. You know, just like it's not like when you go to watch a Showtime fight and an HBO fight. At least not for me. It doesn't really seem different. I don't know. It seems the same. It all seems the same to me. I think Madison Square Garden. I can't remember what fight. I've always wanted to go to a Cotto fight. I still haven't seen Cotto live yet. But I can't. Not really. Barclays is smaller. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, there you go.
All right. Well, anyway, that concludes the show this week. You know, try to be back next week. D-Style, you got anything else you want to say?
Well, just tune in every Sunday, guys, and we'll see you next weekend on my channel. Make sure you subscribe to D-Style Boxing. Peace out.
All right, y'all. Make sure you subscribe to my channel as well, BoxingWave, and see you next week. Peace.
Peace.